From classrooms to the field, truth and laughter both revealed. Tune in for that special feel. Nampa School's always real. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, hear the beat. Join the podcast, take your seat.
All right, welcome back to the Nampa School District podcast, brought to you by CapEd Credit Union. CapEd, it's more than banking, it's making a difference. My name is Tyler Keefe, and I am the Digital Communications Specialist for the Nampa School District. And first off, I want to start out by again saying thank you for everybody who supported us in the 2025 Replacement Supplemental Levy. It's going to make a huge difference in our school district, especially for our kids, our staff, and the community as well. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today's episode is actually going to be our third installment of our CapEd financial series, where Matt Sizemore sits down with Brenna Greenwood to discuss financial literacy. This month's topic is all about saving for the future. So with all that being said, here's Matt and Brenna.
All right. Well, today we are diving into something everyone talks about, but not everyone feels confident doing. We are talking about saving for the future. We're talking college, retirement, just rainy day fund. There's so many ways to do it, but it's not as easy as many may think. Joining me right now, of course, CapEd's financial education specialist, Brenna Greenwood, here to break down all the options so we can feel maybe a little less overwhelmed. We'll go with Brenna. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course. Always a pleasure. A lot to go over here.
Yeah.
Savings accounts are something that I don't know if you'd say most people have, but a lot of people have. Something that I would assume most people would want to have. But there's so many, there are just so many out there. Can you give us maybe just a quick breakdown on what some of the most common savings accounts types are?
Yeah. So you have like your traditional everyday savings accounts. You have youth accounts and you have high yield accounts, which if you meet qualifications, you tend to get a little bit more back in interest or dividends, depending on where it is that you're banking. I'd say those are probably the main three.
Okay, gotcha. What about a tax-advantaged savings account? What exactly is that?
Yeah, those are really cool.
Oh.
They are generally for specific purposes.
Okay.
Right? So you might have one for education, retirement. There are accounts that are specific for saving for a down payment for your first home. There are accounts that are specific. We have a Christmas cash stasher account. Being November, right? The holiday season is here. And so, like you can save money for those things specifically. Now, the tax advantaged accounts are specific accounts where as you're putting money into those accounts, you tend to save taxes on one side or the other. So you tend to not pay taxes on the money when it comes in or not pay taxes on the money when it comes out.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll have to look into that more. Now, what about account folders and also envelopes? What exactly are those?
Okay. So funnily enough, it depends on where it is that you're banking, but you can at some places create folders within your savings account where you can put money towards specific types of purchases. So if I'm saving for a Disney vacation, I can put the Disney vacation money in the Disney vacation folder in my account.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And if the place where you bank doesn't allow you to do that, you can open multiple savings accounts and you can use different accounts, like different envelopes, so to speak, especially if you're familiar with like Dave Ramsey's method of doing things. You put everything in an envelope, and once the envelope has what it needs in it, you use it, or you use it until it's gone. So it's the same kind of premise, but completely done through your banking system instead of in envelopes.
Okay, good to know. I was not aware of those. I thought everything with the savings account, just put it in, can't do anything with it. It's all in one place, but that's very good to know right there.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about anybody that has kids wants to know about education savings. Obviously, you want to save for them, hopefully one day going to college and whatnot. So let's talk about ESAs and 529 plans. What exactly are those?
So 529 plans are a type of ESA, which is an education savings account.
Okay.
So Idaho's state-sponsored plan is through a company called Ideal.
Okay.
Every state has some kind of 529 plan. You can use them in any state. A common misconception is like, if I have an Idaho 529 plan, I have to go to an Idaho college. Not true.
Oh.
You can go anywhere. You don't even necessarily have to go to college. The funds can often be used for like trade schools and things like that as well. So it's not like, oh, if I'm not going to a 4-year university, it doesn't matter. There are lots of really cool features. Really, if people are interested, they should go check out Ideal. They're an amazing company who's really working hard to try to make it affordable for people to get post-high school schooling of whatever type they want. But it is a tax-advantaged account that helps you pay for educational expenses. And that might be tuition.
Okay.
It might be your laptop. It might be your room and board. It might be books.
So that's basically where the ESA is different from other savings account. If you put it specifically towards education related things, no taxes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So
Gotcha.
you don't pay taxes on the money when you put it in. And as long as the money is going towards educational, like approved educationally related expenses,
Okay.
you don't pay taxes on that money there. So you end up saving that money in taxes.
Nice. Okay, gotcha. Now, at the risk of repeating yourself, in terms of the Ideal program, you were saying it's a great thing. What is so unique about Idaho's Ideal program?
If I'm being honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about other states' 529 programs. So unique, I couldn't tell you, but cool
Yeah,
are
let's go with
things
cool.
like the money only has to be in the account for like 10 days before you can use it.
Oh.
You can use it as an investment account. So if you're starting when your child is small,
Sure.
right? I could open the account in my name and I could make my oldest son the beneficiary. And then if he decides he doesn't want to use the money for further education, he's just going to go straight into the workforce, whatever. I can change the beneficiary to my younger son.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's nice.
I could also say, actually, you know what? I want to go back to school. So I could make myself the beneficiary and I could use it for me.
Okay, so there's a good tip right there. Just for parents, put it in your own name just in case.
Yeah, totally can. As long as there's a beneficiary named, that's the person who's going to benefit from
Gotcha.
the money in the account. It can be an investment account. The money only has to stay in there for like 10 days before it can be used. It can roll over into other types of savings account if you end up not using it. It's a really cool system.
Nice. Okay, gotcha. Now, how early would you say parents or students should start thinking about opening up one of these to save for college or trade school?
As soon as you can.
Yeah.
The reality is that college and even trade school, like any type of post high school schooling, is so expensive these days. And by the way, it can be used for K through 12 schooling if it's for tuition specifically.
Okay. Gotcha.
But like we know how expensive schooling is, right? And so being prepared for that, having that there is so important, especially because we can be earning interest or dividends or like using it for things besides education. If we roll it over properly, it's so important. I have plans to start them for my children and they're not in traditional school yet.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
if that gives you an idea.
It sure does. Okay, perfect. Now let's jump into health and medical expenses, something that we all have at some point.
Yes.
And it sounds to me like an HSA is exactly like an ESA, but, put it towards health type things. So can you break down the difference between an HSA and I don't even know what an MSA is? I know all about HSAs. But
They're so similar.
Okay.
Health savings account,
Sure.
medical savings account.
Okay. So
like legitimately, I want to say that medical savings accounts have to be like medically related expenses, whereas health is generally a little bit more of an inclusive term, right? So there's more things that you can spend that money on in a tax advantaged way
So
than
why?
potentially a medical savings account.
So why? What would be the advantage in going with an MSA then, when an HSA sounds like you can do all the same things that you could with an MSA?
So sometimes it just depends on like what your employer offers and things like that. Because like my employer has an HSA, does a match into it, right? And so that's significantly more money that can also become investments, that can also become a specialized savings account that's there on the off chance that you have health expenses that you need help with, or health expenses at all. Because like if I'm going to a pharmacy to buy a humidifier for my child who is sick, I can use my HSA a lot of the time.
And that's something I think a lot of people don't realize.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally.
And
Like, are you buying Tylenol?
Yeah, I guess
Can you
so.
use your HSA? Yes.
Okay.
Right? So like there's a lot that is included in the like approved health expenses that you want to look into. And you kind of have to look into your specific account and program. But they're so helpful in paying for all those expenses that we literally pay for.
Yeah. And of course, using these, the biggest advantage is not only in a lot of cases will your employer sometimes match or put in certain
Like
amounts
seed
for you.
it.
Yes, exactly. But going back to the ESAs as well, there's big tax advantages.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you, if you have that option, I mean, I have an HSA and I absolutely love it. Now, saving for retirement, this is something that a lot of people, I would think it's hard for them because they don't see retirement, right in front, unless you're past a certain age, you're not just staring it
You're
down.
right. You're not like, oh, retirement's coming up quick.
But it does, no matter what age you are, it apparently does. You can talk to anybody's parents and they'll tell you it does. So let's talk about 401ks.
Yeah.
What exactly, everybody's heard the term 401k. A lot of people probably have it.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably have it, but don't know exactly how it works. So how about the basics on a 401k? And then we'll jump into a 403b as well.
Yeah. Okay. So 401k is your employee sponsored retirement plan, which is essentially an opportunity for the people within your company to combine their funds and invest it so that everybody in that company gets more back. And it generally is company specific. So if I were to be a part of a 401k and then switch companies, I'm probably also going to end up changing my 401k situation. So the average person, I think, changes their job, not their career, but their job 12 times over their lifetime.
Okay.
So I could have 12 different 401ks.
Wow.
That's okay. That's legal. Now, for some people, it might be significantly smarter to like roll funds over and combine them or put them into another type of account. An IRA. We'll talk about that in a minute, I'm sure. But yeah, those accounts are company specific.
Okay.
And a 403b is actually the exact same thing, but you work for a nonprofit instead of a for-profit company.
Perfect. Now let's jump into what you were just talking about. It's traditional and Roth IRAs. What exactly are those? What's the difference, and how would someone know which is right for them?
Yeah. So an IRA is an individual retirement account. So not company sponsored, mine specifically. So I'm going to be putting my own money into different investments for retirement. IRAs generally have much lower caps on them than like a 401k as far as how much money an individual can put in every year. So a lot of times like the standard recommendation, and again, standard means it's not right for everybody, but it's a good starting point for people in their first grown-up job with benefits, for people who have never put into a 401k before. If your employer has a 401k, especially if they offer a match, you should pay into it, because the match is like getting your retirement on sale, right? So if I put in 3% and they put in 3%, I'm getting my 6% retirement for half off. Woohoo!
Yeah, free money.
So get the free money, and then you would switch over, and you would want to pay into your IRA until you cap it out, and then you would want to switch back to your 401k. Now that is to say that I have thousands and thousands of dollars per year to put away towards retirement.
Of course.
Because caps are, I want to say, at $7,500 a year, roughly, right now. So those are things to consider. There are two types of IRA. There's a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA.
Okay.
The difference between those two is when you pay taxes on the money.
Okay.
So you do pay income tax on IRA dollars.
Okay.
If you are doing a traditional a traditional IRA, you pay the taxes when you take the money out during retirement.
Oof. You'll feel that then.
Right, because it's a larger amount.
Yeah.
The tax rate could change significantly between now and retirement.
True. Yeah.
So a Roth IRA, you pay income tax on the money now.
Okay.
And then it goes into the account, but that means that withdrawals are tax-free.
Well, that's nice. You kind of know then, right?
Right. So like you know exactly how much is in the account
Yeah.
and things like that. Generally, we like to say that a Roth is a really good option to go with.
Safer, seems.
Well, you know what tax rate you're paying. You know that you're going to be able to take the money out tax-free, et cetera.
Gotcha. Okay, good breakdown there. Now let's jump into something that's really hard for a lot of people. And some people are good with it. I mean, just like any savings account, some people are good with it. Some people are not. Emergency funds. And let's talk about also hiding money from yourself. We're going to get into that. It sounds funny, but it's very important.
Yes.
Emergency funds. How much do you think people should aim to have saved in case of emergencies? And I know that can vary, but what do you think?
Yeah. So let me give you the canned answer. Experts believe that you should have somewhere between 3 and 6 months of all of your expenses saved in an emergency fund.
Wow.
That's a ridiculous amount of money for
Yes.
most people, right? Because that's your house, your car, your groceries, your everything,
Right.
expenses, right?
Yeah.
That was so intimidating to me when I first heard it and started saving that I was like, well, I guess I just won't have an emergency fund because there's no way that I'm going to be able to put 6 months.
That's a lot.
Right? Like it's a lot of money, somewhere between 3 and 6 months. But also like think of the job market, right? They're saying like, if you were to lose your job and have to do a job search and it took you 3 to 6 months to find a new job, then you'd be covered. And that's why they say that. However, I like to say, what's a good starting point for you? Is it $100 just in case a tire pops? Is it $500 just in case you have an ER visit? Is it $1,000? Is it just a car payment? Is it just a house payment? What is, I guess, the most likely emergency for you?
Yeah.
Maybe start with that as a goal. And then do more.
Yeah.
And then do more until you get to that 3 to 6 months saved. Like my first goal was $500 in my emergency fund account.
Okay.
I was younger. I didn't own a home yet. I was renting, but I had a car payment. And I just wanted to make sure that like if my car broke down again, because this is why I started saving in the first place, I could pay for it without asking for help.
Okay. There you go. And that's hard to do. And it takes a lot of grit, but
Yeah, it's I mean, saving's a skill.
yeah.
Just like anything else. And actually the hiding money from yourself piece,
Yeah.
that's how I do it. Cause we've talked about this. I'm a spender.
Yeah.
Okay. So just letting money sit in an account is so hard for me when it's like, oh, but it's tempting to do the fun thing or buy the shoes or do this, right? Cause you're like, but I don't need it right now. There's not an emergency, but the emergency could happen
And you'll be
on
so
the way
grateful
home today.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I do hide money from myself. I have a separate account at a separate spot. And I don't have it on I don't have the banking app on my phone. I don't
Really?
look at the account on a daily basis.
For that specific.
Right?
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
just for the emergency fund. Like, do I know how much from every paycheck gets transferred in there? Yes. Do I know what interest rate I'm getting on that account? Yes. So could I guesstimate and say roughly this amount? Yes, I could, but I don't because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like
no.
I just want it to be there in case I need it. And I will I check periodically, but that's about it.
Okay, that's great advice there. Now, how about certificates? What exactly do you mean by that, and how do those help people who struggle with dipping into those savings, like we were talking about?
Yeah, certificates are specialized savings accounts where you agree to lock your money up for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
They usually run from like 6 months to 5 years.
Okay.
And if you take the money out early, you actually pay penalties. Which means that you lose a significant amount of the interest that you would have gotten if you had left it in there until the end of the term.
Okay.
Kind of a thing. So for people who are like, yeah, it's not a big deal. I can just take a little bit out of my savings and then I'll put it back. If you lock it up and if you're to take it out, you're going to sacrifice what you would have made on it. It makes it a little bit easier to go, I don't need that thing that bad.
Right. Okay. Okay, good breakdown there. Lastly, we're going to get into choosing the right account. And this is a tough one because everybody's different, obviously.
Yeah.
How do you decide which savings account is right for specific goals?
Well, sometimes if it's for tax advantaged accounts and things like that, they are built for specific goals. Like an ESA is for education savings.
So some of these are easy.
Right. So some of them are really easy. For personal things, it really just... It kind of depends on your timeline. Like, oh, I need to save a lot faster. Okay, well, you're probably going to want like high yield.
Okay.
I'm under the age of 26. Okay, that might be a youth account, especially if you don't have an income, because youth accounts can tend to have like higher interest or dividend rates than a traditional savings account, but lower than a high yield account. But the high yield account, you have to have qualifications. If you're not going to meet those, then the high yield account makes the most sense.
Gotcha.
Right. So it's kind of about looking at your situation, saying like, what's the smartest route for me to go that's going to get me the most bang for my buck?
Okay. Recommendations for all ages right there. Very well done.
Thank you.
So what if someone, though, is not ready to commit to a specific account or goal? What is a good starting point for them?
Starting with that like traditional or high yield account is probably the best route to go. And the reality is like most people I know want to retire at some point. So if I have an emergency fund, my regular savings account, and some kind of retirement account, that's probably where I would start if it were me. Like, that's not financial advice. That's just like my own thoughts.
Okay.
Because I would like to retire someday.
Sure. Wouldn't we all?
Wouldn't we all?
Now, of course, and we kind of already talked about it, so we don't need to talk long on this, but I think what you said about hiding money from yourself, I think that's a great skill to have. I think that's a great thing to do. But what advice would you have for those who want to build better savings habits, who want to have that app on their phone so they can look at that account?
Yeah. It's a skill, just like you said, right? So you have to work at it. You have to put effort into it. You have to be prepared to fail.
Yeah.
Because that happens sometimes. Like even for me, there are things that come up that I'm like, oh, didn't plan on spending that out of my savings, but I'm going to have to push X goal off because Y kind of came in from left field and that's more important. Also, something to think about is lifestyle creep. So if I'm working a job and I get a raise, I should have a plan for where the money from that raise is going to go, right? I could just spend it and have a different lifestyle that doesn't feel all that different. Or I could say the raise that I got is going to go into savings every single time. So right now I might only be able to save $20 a month. But once I get a raise, I can save $30 or $40 a month.
There you go.
And that's how you like increase over time is by avoiding lifestyle creep.
Gotcha. Last question I have for you, for someone who maybe is not making a lot.
Yeah.
What would you say are some good savings options or the best saving option for them?
For someone who's not making a lot, the most bang for your buck that you can possibly get. So again, that high yield savings, if I qualify for the high yield, I really should go with that high yield savings because it makes more sense than a traditional savings where I'm not getting much for the money that I'm leaving in there.
Okay.
And there are places where you don't have to have a lot. So like an ideal ESA, the 529 plan, you only have to have like $25 to start it.
Oh, nice.
And believe it or not, that actually makes the beneficiary like 7 times more likely to go to school and to finish school just by having $25 in there.
Huh.
And if you start young, that $25 is going to be more than $25 by the time they go to school. So even if it just helps with books, it still helps.
Yeah, sure does. Awesome. Great advice today. Brenna, anything else you want to mention about savings accounts that you think people should know? Or I think we really covered a lot.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is don't feel like you have to do everything at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't have to have an IRA and an HSA and an ESA and a 401k and what's your most important goal? Start there. Start doing that really well. Then add in the next thing.
Perfect. All right. Well, joining me today has been CapEd's financial education specialist, Brenna Greenwood, once again talking about savings accounts, the many that there are and the best ways to go about them. Brenna, thanks so much for joining us and all the great advice.
Of course.